everyone, this is Jason Chadwick with PremierGuitar.com, and we're at the Summer NAMM in Nashville, and that was Joel playing. We're at the Lil Walter booth, and that was Joel demonstrating one of Phil's new amps here. So Phil, thank you for taking the time to talk to us.
My pleasure, Jason.
Excellent. Now this is a new amp you have here, but what it does is it combines two existing amps that you have. So tell us a little bit about what we're looking at here.
Okay, this side over here is our 50 watt that's been so famous with Vince Gill and Brent Mason and folks like this. This is the 22 watt. This, of course, is the 6L6 family on the 50 watt side. The 22 is the 6V6 family. The 50 watt would give you such really good clean tone with a lot of headroom, very little breakup. The 22 over here would give you some very, very nice natural overdriven distortion. And we put them both in this cabinet so that for a recording studio's purposes, you'd have the clean, you'd have the overdrive, and people like Vince Gill are using this one on stage now to combine the clean with a little bit of seasoning from the overdrive, and it's a really, really new thing. It's kind of like we used to do channel switching, now we're actually doing amp switching. Yes.
And so what do you call this setup? What's the name of it?
This is the Twin. Normally we would have a Twin 50, but now we've started doing the Twin 50-22 so that you've got the two best amps that we have in one cabinet, and they're two independent chassis, totally of one another.
And we were just listening Joel through the 22.
Yes.
So let's listen to a little more of Joel playing through the 22.
Okay.
So now we're going to listen to the 50 watt side of the amp.
Yeah, and you'll notice the difference. The main difference between what Joel just played and what we're going to show you now is actually the power tubes. Both of these amps use octal preamp tubes, old style 6SC7 and 6SL7 tubes. But you're going to hear the main difference now is not so much overdrive and breakup, a much more clean sound. So that's what you'll get from the 50 watt, and it appeals to a whole different crowd of people, as you can hear when Joel plays it for you.
And steel players are liking this amp too.
Steel players love it because if you at the higher volume ranges, you get a little hair on the tone, but it still maintains a very clean, quite a bit of overhead still.
All right, Joel. Let's hear a little bit of this one. Also new to the show this summer is you have, is this your first bass amp that you've made?
Well, we've had a 50 watt bass amp before, but in doing some research and development, I discovered some new tubes. To me, they're new. They're the KT120. Tungsol makes these tubes, and they were actually designed to be a KT type tube, like a 6550 or a KT88 or 90, that was impervious to distortion. And so for my steel players and some of my super clean Nashville guitar players, we decided to try to take and build a platform. So we took our VG50 platform and we beefed up the power and put a 100 watt output transformer, and we're getting in the high range of the 70s, somewhere around 79 watts out of this, with the KT120s with absolutely no distortion whatsoever, all the way from the bottom to the top of the volume range.
Yeah.
And we're using it for a bass amp, a steel amp, and Vince Gill has asked me to build him a Twin 80 for his tour next year. So we're going to be using it for guitar, bass, and steel.
Excellent. And where can people go online to find out more about your amps and all the different models that you offer?
Go to www.littlewaltertubeamps.com.
All right, Phil, thanks so much for talking to us.
And everybody loves Premier Guitar, and it's such an honor to have you guys come to my booth and give us this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, man. This is Jason Chadwick with PremierGuitar.com.